Okay, so welcome. We've got lots of great information for our club directors about our season and how we're couple changes that we are going to have for this year. So we'll dive right in. Joanne welcomed us. And here are just the topics that we're going to go through. So we're going to start off with an introduction of our new membership requirement, which is a memorandum of understanding. And then we're going to talk about our new program that we're quite excited to offer everybody, which is our directors and officers insurance. And Jason Jansen from our broker is here. So we're happy to have him here and help us navigate this topic. We're also going to talk about some roster requirements we are going to have for regular season tournaments, well, all tournaments this year. Super easy, but we do want to make sure everybody's aware and knows how to get the information to their head coaches. A little reminder about our subsidies for our coach development program that are still available. So we're hoping everybody can take advantage of that. And then for our Volleyball Connect introduction, we have Shashank here, and he's going to share some really great tools and opportunities that we also have for you guys to help with your club administration. And like I said, questions can get thrown down into the chat. So if you have any questions at any time. Okay, so new for this year, we are going to require that all our clubs sign a MOU. We feel this is a really important step in solidifying our agreements between each other and kind of just coming up with a shared understanding of everything about what we stand for and what we feel is important as an organization. So what is an MOU? An MOU is a formal agreement between the OVA and the membered clubs. It outlines the expectations, roles, and responsibility of us and our deliverables and what we hope that you guys are going to agree to and your deliverables as well. We want to make sure that this just creates a level of consistency and transparency to all our clubs. And it's not a legal contract, but it is a commitment to a shared standard. So again, it's kind of transparency and making sure that we're all on the same page. So if anybody has any questions about what you're agreeing to, we're all going to spell it out in the actual MOU, and we're just going to review those sections of the MOU too. So we are asking you to agree to our OVA policies and procedures. We're asking you to agree to following ethical and safe sport practices, maintaining proper governance and operations, respecting athletes' rights and welfare, and also acting in the best interest of volleyball, our sport in general in Ontario. And we already do all of this stuff. And I think this document is just kind of solidifying that and really making it that formal agreement that I mentioned earlier. Why is the MOU required? We want to obviously make sure everybody knows their obligations, what you adhere to, what we want to promise you as a PSO. It does combine that consistency for all our clubs, so everybody knows what's happening, what policies and procedures and everything like that you are also responsible for maintaining and upholding. We do think it speaks to our accountability and strengthens that relationship between our member clubs and us as an organization. And it just aligns everything, from safe sport, inclusivity. We do believe it offers a level of professionalism for our clubs and helps increase practice and governance. Again, one of our big missions is to become athlete-centered, and that's obviously a priority for our clubs to be too. So the MOU will outline membership benefits, and here's just some of them that we have here. This is just for this coming up season. Obviously we're always trying to add to this and strengthen what we can offer you. So one of our benefits is cover under our OVA insurance program. That's general liability and sport accidents insurance. And now we are going to talk about our option for directors and officers insurance as well, which is really great. Participation in the provincial and national competition system. Participate in OVA sanctioned programming, including our training sessions, clinics, educational programs, symposiums, mentorships, things along that lines. And that's not just for coaches, it's for athletes. It's for athletes, coaches, what else am I thinking? Referees, sorry, all our members, not just our athletes here. We want to you get access to Team Ontario programming. And again, that's not just for the athletes, that's also for the coaches as well. We're trying to introduce also referee programming within those Team Ontario programmings to get them upgraded and, introduced to higher level of volleyball. We are always looking for access to fundraising for our clubs, opportunities, subsidies, grants that are supported by us. There's also 0 administrative fees for referee assignments, promotions through promotions and other benefits through our sponsors and partners. Our awards banquet and recognition. You get access to OVA staff support whenever you need it. Letters of good standing for any tournament outside the province or international. And obviously a membership to Volleyball Canada. Okay, so one of the sections of the MOU is going to be a sign off. So Joanne, in your opinion, should I just talk about what the MOU collection is going to look like maybe? So kind of put some context to this. Sure. So our MOU will be electronic. It'll be a form that you're able to click off on and sign. So, and one of these, this is all what you see right here on my right-hand side is what your organization agrees to. And this is what it will look like online through your form. And this is kind of just a synopsis of it. So, and again, a lot of this stuff is already being done. Well, all of it is pretty much already being done by all our clubs. Again, it's just us recognizing that commitment to each other and formalizing our agreements. So we want to make sure that members of the OVA are approved. So your role or what your organization is agreeing to is that all your members of the club are approved and in our MRS. So that's your coaches, your club leaders, volunteers, trainers, executive club directors. And when we say are approved in MRS, so that means they are registered and they have completed all the requirements of our policies, whether it's a coach policy or our PIA policy, person in authority policy. So club leaders have slightly different than what a coach would. So your job is to make sure that all those people that are assigned to your club are approved members in MRS. You are complying with safe sport practices and policies. Oh, this might be a typo. Once re-signed this, I apologize for that. Ignore that. I'm sorry. Approval of club name changes. So we do want to know if your club name changes and for whatever reason that is. We want to make sure that everything's on the up and up with that. And that is already done right now. And we don't want any extra red tape with that. It's just a matter of we are acknowledging it. We can let our youth competition staff know that rankings are moved on and, all of the other documents that go in that are associated with your club name are changed. You're requiring that you are participating in a dispute resolution process if that ever happens with your club. And these processes are currently in practice. Processes that are currently in practice with our club are also all the other processes that we have with our club are what you're agreeing to. I think that might be a bit of a typo too. Apologize. So that's going to be one section of your MOU that you're going to be looking at. And then we are also going to ask you to acknowledge the policies. So this is just a click box as well. And what policies we have chosen to recognize here are the ones that are, I don't want to say the most important, but are, how can I say that, Joanne?
They are important, as they all
Yeah.
are. Very relevant to everything
Yeah.
of the club activities, like and the operations that happen within your club. And so are the other ones, but it's just Carrie just put a few descriptors around each of them as well, just to help.
Yeah, so these are the ones that are actually going to be identified in the MOU online that you'll be looking at with a little bit of an explanation. And all the other policies, we also want you to acknowledge that you'll be agreeing to. And it's the other policies, if you look under our governance page and under policies, if you click this other policies drop-down arrow, you will get a list of everything that we've acknowledged as an organization, whether it's our inclusivity policy, transfer policies, all the other good ones. They're all good. Have a look. So those again will be acknowledged boxes. You can just tick them off. So so these agreements and signbacks are mandatory. So we're asking all our clubs to collect, to make sure that you sit down, have a look at the form, understand it, and kind of submit it.
Keep going, Carrie.
Okay. And we are asking for all club director or president, somebody who is authorized signatory to sign off on this. So it is something that we want to make sure that the bigwig is agreeing to. So we're going to be doing that. Forms will be collected online, and a link will forward to everybody a link to the form, and then you can just fill it out. It'll automatically record what you that you've completed it, and we'll ask that you kindly complete that on the 15th. And if you have any questions about it, or something's not working, either tech wise, or you're concerned about what's verbiage we're using or anything about this, feel free to reach out. We're happy to ask, answer any questions, or make sure that everybody understands that what this requirement is. So yeah, so that's the MOU. It will be again collected through Cognito, and it's going to be required for this year. I see a chat here.
So I'll just, while you're checking at that question,
Okay.
Carrie, I just want to stress how easy Carrie made this form. It's one of those things where you go in and you complete it, and once you've signed, you will also get a copy back. So there's not a matter of, okay, I have to take this and print it or scan it or do anything. So it's a very clear process. And I think we have some questions around, why are we doing this? This is one of the things that are requirements as part of being the recognized sport body. There are these requirements to be completed. And also we're going to get into the club D&O offering, the directors and officers insurance. So this is another step that we are able to obtain an insurance policy to cover all of our clubs because of our processes, and because we do have the commitment of our club leaders of making sure that all of these really important steps are adhered to. So it's a really good governance practice, and we are trying to keep it as simple as we can from that standpoint. And it is all these steps that were done, they were included in your club information form, but we didn't have it signed by the club president or the club leader. It was something that could be just completed via the club contact or someone else in the club. So this is something that we really want to make sure that it's done by the club director of the club. And it's outlined very nicely, and it's an easier document to follow for sure.
And there was another question, is it will be required every season? Yeah, it will be required every season. And we're actually going to talk about next season, because there will be some additional requirements next season for our clubs. So we're just going to talk about that a little later. And it is a process that other PSOs and other sports are doing. Skate Canada Skate Ontario is another club that does it. I think there's a bunch of other clubs that, and sporting PSOs that are asking clubs to do this for the reasons that Joanne was talking about. So, you know, mandatory requirements, and it does strengthen that insurance aspect. And, you know, we just want to, you know, make sure that everybody is understanding what we stand for and that you're agreeing to it. So.
Okay.
So how does change liability for directors? And I'm not sure. Did I get everything?
We can always check through it when Jason's chatting too.
Okay. So, yeah, like I said, I'll send you everybody a link to the form after this call, probably tomorrow morning. And then we'll have until October 15th. If you have any questions, please reach out. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you guys. So, you know, help keep me busy. Not too busy though. Okay, so this is moving forward. We're looking forward to 26, 27 right now. So we want to continue to improve and strengthen our club, how they operate. And moving forward, we are going to ask that clubs submit these documents in agreement, as well as the agreements in the MOU that we just went through. So we're going to ask clubs to host a information session at the start of the season. And this would be just submitting the dates and times that you have. Participate in your mandatory OVA sessions. This is what we're doing right now. Articles of incorporation, provide bylaws if applicable. We do want all our clubs to have a dispute resolution policy, financial policy, and provide OVA with a conflict of interest policy. So I know a lot of our new clubs who have come into the OVA also have already been practicing with creating these policies and that. So we do have resources on our website with templates and different governance resources that will help build these. But we will also be taking time throughout the calendar this year to create opportunities for learning and education and helping everybody make sure that they're going to be meeting these requirements for the following year. Yeah, Brenda, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to have, we do have policies up on the website for this already, but we also will be creating different learning opportunities for our clubs throughout the season to help them through making these policies and making it a part of, you know, your practices and your operations. Jason, you said, will we know what these are before signing? What are these? If you could type that in or what have you, that'd be great. So I don't know, Joanne, can you get this one or?
Which one is that? Are we looking for?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
If there is a conflict of interest language in bylaws, do we need a separate document?
The easiest, we do have a conflict of interest like policy that's a lot simpler. And that'll cover off, but I don't know, we would have to ask our governance about if there is in your own bylaws, then yes, that's fine. It's a lot easier it's a better practice to break things out of bylaws and have board approved items as a policy, because then you can be just a little more fluid with it rather than going back to your entire membership because if you make a change to a policy, then you wouldn't want it in your bylaw because then it has to get approved by the entire membership. So there's governance pieces that you would want there to be a separate policy. So the bylaw would address it by saying the board would govern it with a policy, but we can talk through those things and look at ways, or if it works for your club, then that's fantastic. You can continue with what works for your club. Sorry, Carrie, was there another question you want to talk about now, or did you want to jump into our insurance?
No, I think we haven't had pretty much, okay, well, I guess, if articles of incorporation or bylaws are already registered with the ministry, is that something they're going to need to submit to us as well, or?
That's what we're looking for. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's great. Well, and your bylaws should be posted on your website.
Okay,
We can always pick them up from there as well,
okay.
just like how ours are posted on there from the OVA.
Okay, and yeah, again, resources are currently posted on our website to create these types of documents and that. But again, we'll be looking for education pieces to schedule throughout the year to make sure that everybody is, learning, and we're all kind of working towards these types of operational practices and that.
Awesome.
Okay, I think that is it for now. Now we're going to talk about our directors and officers insurance. Our broker is Gallagher's, and our directors and officers insurance will be through Ridge Canada. We'd like to welcome Jason Jansen, who is our go-to guy for insurance here at the OVA.
She was introducing Jason, and as she said, Jason's our insurance broker from Gallagher. He's also has lots of experience in sport. He's the previous executive director from Ontario Basketball. So it's nice to have an insurance broker who really understands our needs, what's happening in the clubs, what's happening within the sport world. And we have the support from Gallagher when we're going out and filling our insurance for our group. So thank you, Jason.
Okay.
Thank you for the intro. It was lagging for a moment there, so can everybody hear me? Is it everything good? Awesome. Thank you. Can I still get that embarrassing story, Carrie? Is that off the
Oh, I
table now?
just didn't want to embarrass you by like saying, I was going to say that you're, such a familiar face to us, and that, kind of hark back to our age and, gray hairs and that. So I didn't, that you're, an
Some
OBA
of us don't have
guy.
hair.
You're the other ball team guy, so orange ball. But anyways,
Badgers forever.
yeah.
Well, thanks for coming back for those. Obviously, these kind of like struggles sometimes are still better than maybe being stuck on a highway trying to get to and from a meeting. So I think that's the one positive for having to pause that for about a few minutes. But thanks OVA for the opportunity to be able to connect here tonight. We'll try to make this as quick and as seamless as we can for everybody. Just want to acknowledge also like Kara and Michelle from Gallagher are also online as well tonight too. So we have several team members here. Really quickly, like Joanne and Kara had alluded to, like we're the brokerage, so we're Gallagher. My name is Jason Jansen. I'm the VP, and we're thrilled and delighted, honored to collaborate with OVA on their insurance and risk management program. Fortunately for us, we're one of the largest brokerages in the world. On any given day, we're fighting Aon S2 and 3. So that just speaks to the breadth of the resources that we have access to domestically and internationally. And as a team, in addition to 3 of us here tonight, we have, north of 12 full-time staff members who focus solely on sport and entertainment. So this is where we specialize. And to complement Carrie's point, like I'm very fortunate of somebody who for 20 years prior to being in insurance was in the amateur sport world. So I really bring some further perspective, sharing what you at the club level have done and are continuing to do. We have over 100 provincial organizations that are part of what we do. Again, that speaks to the breadth of what Gallagher has access to. In terms of Ridge Canada, they're a specialized managing general agent here in Canada who focuses on D&O and cyber coverage. So us and OVA partnering with them makes a lot of sense because this is what they specialize in D&O coverage, in employment practice liability, and then also, if necessary, fiduciary liability. So they have a strong appetite for this and a lot of experience in sports and recreational clubs. And not all insurance carriers do specialize or have an interest in sport. So it's really important for us to place coverage that's robust and economical with partners like Ridge Canada. Carrie, could we jump to the next slide? Excellent. So if you recall, a couple years ago, you may have been online or maybe not, you might be new or you were bored that night, but we had a really nice town hall that talked about the importance of directors and officers liability coverage. That was a conversation we were having because, well, to Carrie's point earlier, OVA is continually looking to evolve, showcase strong governance, showcase alignment along with this MOU. So again, this is something that's been building with an OVA a long time, and it's continuing on now. Up until August 1st of this year, there was wording in place with the previous carrier that provided some coverage potential for directors and officers under the sports errors and omissions coverage. It was the only carrier that was actually providing that coverage at that time. They've now realized that they were the only one doing that. So as of August 1st, they're no longer providing any type of coverage in that same context. So again, if we rewind to 2 years ago, when we're having conversations, there was some coverage possibly available to directors and officers within the club structure. And we were seeing more and more claims coming through in this kind of like sector, which is why we had that town hall to really inform and educate on this really being critical coverage that should be enforced. As Carrie mentioned, right now the OVA does provide sport liability coverage and sport accident coverage, and still sports errors and omissions coverage. However, that coverage does not extend to directors and officers. It extends to coaches and instructors and people in that similar kind of like context. So the coverage that would traditionally be there under errors and omissions is there. That being said, and in consideration and complement of everything that OVA continues to do, we have now collaborated to put together a program in order for clubs to be able to access robust D&O coverage, which would protect board members and officers. And again, whether you have part-time staff, full-time staff, no staff, this is coverage in place that would provide protection if there was a wrongful act. And so again, we're not talking about some athlete or a coach gets hurt at a gym or at a beach volleyball event of some sort. Like it is in context of like you're around a boardroom table or you're in a room making decisions around the club. And if somebody were to come back and say, that was contrary to your bylaws, or that financial statement was incorrect, or this decision you made was completely contrary to like this policy or procedure that you have, here's a policy aimed to protect you, which is very important. So in the context of a wrongful act, we have a definition here. It's any actual or alleged act, error or omission, misstatement, neglect, or breach of duty. So these kind of things, unfortunately, when we're volunteers, are going to happen. This policy would be enforced in order to protect board members and officers from those kind of situations. You're doing something in the greatest context, in the greatest good faith of something that's happening here, but oops, there was something missed here. And if somebody catches that, here is where you have protection. And again, it's outside of like, you know, our athletes or coaches or any other stakeholders who are going to get injured. The protection already is there. In this context, this is the protection that you would want there. So Carrie, can I just have you slide to the next slide? So here is a really quick one-page summary of directors and officers policies. So it is there to protect the individuals and the incorporation. That's really critical. So one of the key things we always want to emphasize is that like you in your role as a volunteer, that is very noble of people to do. However, somebody could name, using myself as an example, I'm a board member of the local soccer club or the local volleyball club. Somebody could name Jason Jansen in a claim. And if there is no D&O policy in force, then it could mean that like I have to defend myself. And how am I going to do that? Well, it's probably with my personal assets. This policy would protect the personal assets of the individuals who are representing the corporation, but also the corporation itself as well. And what we find largely are people who are in roles like president, vice president, treasurer, executive director, CEOs, CFOs, they're the ones who are most commonly named in these kind of claims, not the only ones, but most commonly named in these claims. And so when those individuals and the other members at large, directors at large, are making decisions, OVA and Gallagher and Ridge Canada are looking to make sure that there's going to be a policy in effect that will protect those stakeholders. And there are some subsequent slides as well that we can talk about as well that will allude to the program itself. Maybe we can piggyback on each other on that front, or I'm happy to lead it. But the idea is to have a policy in place that would provide robust coverage for all the different activities that a club would be responsible for. So the on-court activities, the on-beach activities, and then also those things that are happening in a virtual setting like this or in a boardroom. And so it would be robust and comprehensive and be a part of the MOU. One of the concepts I know that we should touch on is, and I think I saw some names, maybe they're still on or not, but as a result of the town hall a couple of years ago, we were contacted by a number of different OVA member clubs who said they want to be proactive and get a directors and officers policy enforced for themselves. And we have since placed those policies for them and have renewed them. In the context of this particular coverage, if a club opts to go into the OVA coverage that's being offered to this program, then we can work with our existing clients in making sure that either that policy is seen through the cycle or renewed or canceled. But obviously, like, we want to make sure they're aware that this is something that would be here to complement the OVA membership. Anything outside of that, we can make sure to manage accordingly. And that really is only in our world for about 6 or 7 different clubs. We understand there's about 90 clubs out there, so it only affects a small percentage, but we'll certainly make sure that those are managed as needed. And I think the other thing that's important there is what OVA is looking to do here is very economical, in addition to being incredibly robust coverage. So for example, 2 years ago, we were talking about a D&O policy costing anywhere from probably $850 to $1,250. That wouldn't be the case with this. This would be significantly less in premium, which is a really, really nice thing to have. And the reason why we're able to do that is because the interest in there being stronger governance here, having it be part of an MOU, but then also in terms of volume, these rates can actually go down. So if an individual generally goes to get insurance for something, you're going to see a higher premium. When you see a number of groups in a volume-based setting come together to do this kind of like initiative, then you'll see the actual premiums going down, which in the context of sport clubs, whether they're small or whether they're large, having some savings to take that money and put back into your programming is obviously critical. And that would be it for those slides. The Gallagher portion. Do you want to touch on anything within here, Carrie, just quickly, or is there anything that you want to touch on specifically?
I think if anyone has any questions, we'll definitely get them to type those away in the chat. And while that's going on, we'll just tell you how to sign up so you can get this coverage. I think that's the best part of the whole night, Carrie. Here we go.
So I can touch this really quickly. I mean, to Joanne's point earlier, like, Carrie has made this incredibly easy for each of you by having like an online forum that you can complete. There's some questions within there and some details that are just required to be included. It's nothing that you wouldn't otherwise have necessarily access to, but a list of directors is really helpful to have. If there was ever to be a claim, it's really ideal for us to know who's on the board at that particular time, so that we can be verified. If there's a claim against somebody individually, that claim can move forward and defend that individual if that was the case. Again, there may or may not be employees. So if you don't have any employees, the answer is 0. But if you have a part-time employee or 5 full-time employees, whatever it might be, just place the number there. Doesn't matter whether they're part-time or full-time. You just name the number of employees, and that will just be further information will be really relevant. In terms of revenues, so there's a couple of key ways that a D&O policy comes into effect. One of those is just understanding what the revenue is. So clubs within the OVA world could be, in a $50,000 a year revenue stream. They may be in a $500,000 revenue stream. Irrespective of that, it would just be nice to know that information so that the underwriter can have an awareness of that. So including that as well. And Carrie's actually put in a slot there where it's not like you individually typing in a number. You can actually choose a range that's in there as well. And the other key thing is to know that there aren't any pending claims. So as you might be aware, in terms of insurance, one of the key things is not misunderstanding or misrepresenting something. So if you are aware of a claim that might be pending, just let us know about that, and we can still obviously go ahead and look to make sure there's coverage that will be afforded to the club. But it's very important to make us aware if there is something that would otherwise maybe lead to a claim. If you have questions about that now or afterwards, we can certainly provide you with guidance on that front, but that would be the only other thing. And then to complement Joanne's point earlier, like having somebody who's going to sign on behalf of the MOU is obviously important there as well, because there's that code of conduct, there's that acknowledgement that exists, that's there as well. But I think the last piece I think would be really great for OVA to touch on, which is there being basically a subsidy in place in terms of what the overall cost of the coverage would be.
Thanks, Jason. So there is so from this, it's another form. So Carrie will follow up after tonight, what she's saying, with an email, and it'll have the links to these forms. So there's the club MOU, and then there's also this application form to sign up for the insurance. It is a $200 fee. It's subsidized by the OVA because it does cost more than that. We'll just say it like it is. It does. But it is information that Ridge needs that's on this form. So we need to know all of your directors. Make sure they are in MRS. They need to be registered and have met the club leader eligibility policy. So they need to be approved as a club leader. And then the other information that Ridge needs, the number of employees. If you have any, tick off your revenue band. Make sure you, there's also that no claim declaration that you're signing, and go from there. And you will have your DNO. We are working with Jason already on the policy. So Ridge, we need to complete, we really do want to get your information in as soon as possible because you're operating. The coverage does extend now, but we need to like quickly close our loop and get all the clubs listed and get that information to Ridge. So we're just asking you to be as timely as you can with that. And so if you have any questions, start with Carrie. And I think some are looking for Jason's email, so we will also provide that in the information as well when we send that out. So if there's no insurance questions, we can get into the other stuff if we want to keep on rolling. So I know it sounds like there's a lot of forms, but Carrie will summarize with an email, and it's simple. The links are there, will be there.
Links will be there, and they're simple forms too. It is a little bit of reading, but
yep.
It should be managed.
Less painful after this summary.
Exactly. Okay. 1 second here. Okay, so roster verifications for all OVA events. So this is what the comps team will be doing for all our events. I know we do have a no roster validation for our registration for our provincial comps. However, at the time that you do compete, we do expect you guys to have all your athletes listed on your roster. We do have a new feature built into MRS where head coaches are now able to edit, view, print a team roster. So that's really great. So they have that ability to make sure that everybody is on there that should be, or somebody's not supposed to be there. You can make that adjustment as well. It's really simple to do. It is just you can print it off on a piece of paper, or you can actually just have it on your phone. And we're going to ask you to make sure that it's all ready to go at your first tournament of the year. And it is, that is the sheet that our scorekeepers are going to use to populate the actual score sheet. So we want to make sure that everybody that is in MRS is actually on the court, and we're not missing anybody, and we're, making sure that everybody's safe and covered. And yeah, like I said, when coaches log into MRS, they'll have the ability to see their roster. There's a green button on the top that just says print it'll either populate or create a PDF that's printable or something that's downloadable to your phone, and then you can present that to the referee at the time of at the time where you're signing in for your game. This was, I think, it was included in the What's New 2.0, and that was sent out on Friday. So we do have that, and that is full of other additional information about the roster verification as well in the 2.0. And it is actually posted on our website under our club resources, and that's the competitions tab. So I can show you real quick on our club resources page where you can find that. I'm just going to share my screen.
While you go to that, there was a question around, will the coaches be able to see the RIS, the Respect and Sport Certificate? I don't know the answer to that, but we will find out.
I know that so on the PowerPoint presentation there, that is an example of what you actually see. So it doesn't populate with the RIS number. So I'm not sure if they'll have ability to look inside an account.
I don't think you will see it because it's on the player profile.
Right.
Okay. You won't see the date of birth.
You will see the date of birth. This does populate with the date of birth.
I thought we were, okay, we'll talk about that.
Okay. When I was able to download it, it did create a date of birth, but
that could have been a change after. And then,
exactly. This is,
and then we have a question about just, has there been a problem? And we will say yes.
Yeah.
We will just say yes. Let's close it off with that.
So,
Not just athletes, it was coaches, athletes, it was very, it is. So it really was an issue. So as far as, and it's not just, it's our safety piece, but it's also the integrity of our competition. And we have so many teams now. So we're looking to really put in a process that would help support the tournaments.
so, right. This is our club resources page. Well, here's our homepage here. Clubs, and then if you just hit club, here's our governance guides if we're looking for all of our templates for any of the policies or practices that we talked about earlier about the MOU or under governance guides. But if you were just to click this club resources header or title there, it'll bring you to a page where we have a bunch of tabs here, and it all depends on what you're looking for. Our What's New and our What's New 2.0 are listed under competitions right here, and they're downloadable PDFs, and all of our other wonderful information that's regarding youth competitions is under this tab. So lots of good information here, but I know it's buried and I know it's hard to find, so I thought I would show you guys how to get to it, because if I were to send you a link, I would only be able to send you this club resources link, and it's hard to find.
I was with you, I couldn't find it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where you find it. So I have to stop sharing again and then share, I think. Here we go. And so back here. So again, this is what this over here is what would be generated by your print roster. So it'll have a profile, and this might change because again, this was created a few days ago. You have a generated date down here. And I know it's something we've been continually working on, just making sure it's hiccup free. So yeah, so that's what your official roster would look like. Oh, I see more questions.
I think we answered them.
Okay, good. Okay. Okay, LP.
Hello. All right. Only 10 minutes later than I was expected. Excuse me for the issue earlier, but I have great news, right? I have great news. So with your benefits as a club, Carrie mentioned it at the very beginning of this conversation. There are some subsidies that you can access through OVA, and some of them have been around since January, but because they were kind of rolled out in the middle of the season, I don't think they were necessarily well adopted or understood by clubs and coaches. But we have some really cool club and coach subsidies and around coach development. So the first one here that is available, and all the information is on our website, is a coach development club subsidy. So clubs can receive up to $1,000 per event for running coach development activities within your club, opening them up to people in your area and whatnot. And so we can support you. So if you want to invite some university coaches, experienced coaches, bring coaches from abroad, whatever it is you want to do, and you want to put together a coach development event, we have some funds for you provided by the regional councils. So we were able to work with the regions to approve some funding for these types of activities. So the information is, again, in the club resources section of the website that Carrie showed you. And it's pretty simple. You just have to, once you have your idea, you have your event that you're going to run, you're going to put the information into a form, submit that. We'll follow up with you, give you the approval that you will get the subsidy and how much. It depends on the number of coaches that you have. And there you go. Now, on top of that, you get the subsidy. You also can get some PD points, so maintenance of certification points for your coaches and for the participants in your event as well. So really cool stuff. I know that a lot of clubs are running coach sessions at that time of year. Even if you're running something, you were thinking of doing like a 3-hour clinic on a Thursday night with your coaches next month, whatever it is, check it out because you might very well qualify for some funds. So check that out. Great opportunity for clubs. And there's another program, which is on the next page. And that is our Coach Support and Networking Program, which was formerly called the Mentorship Program. We've changed the name of it. We want it to be more accurate with what it is. We really want to put coaches in kind of create matches between coaches who want to learn and coaches who want to share. And you don't have to be a super experienced coach for this. You don't have to have, 30 years of coaching under your belt. This could be someone in your club that has just been coaching at the age group that you're coaching at for 4 or 5 years, and they've just been there. And you want to spend some time with this person, and looking over your seasonal plan, picking their brains about whatever is going on there. So you can really kind of connect with a bunch of people who have something to share. And the cool thing with that is if you do participate and you do get matched with a coach advisor through this program, as a coach, you can get a subsidy of up to $200 to help cover whatever fees there might be there for you to pay the person that you're going to learn from. So the way it works is we are collecting interest from experienced coaches who want to share. They will have their names and background and experiences and areas of expertise listed on our website. And coaches can just then go fill out a form, select the coach and the advisor they want to work with. There's a match created. And then at that point, it is the responsibility of the coach and the coach advisor to set up whatever setup they wanna have, get something going that works for them. And then once it's done, they fill out a quick form to say what was done, how many sessions were done, what were the learning objectives that were achieved, and then we issued the subsidy to the coach depending on the number of sessions that they did. So again, this is also provided by the regional council in terms of support, and we as the OVA staff are just here to administer it and make sure that this money gets into the pockets of coaches and clubs. So speaking of benefits of being members in good standing and working together, I think this is great. I'm excited that we're doing that for coaches and clubs, and I look forward to see all these applications come in because the money's there. So it's for you to grab. Don't hesitate. Take a look at it. Pass this information on to your technical director, whoever is in charge of coaches for your club, and let's get going. And if all of you jump on this opportunity and we run out of money because there was an amount of money that was set up, I will personally go to the regional council and ask for more on your behalf. So Please take advantage of this. We want to see you guys, all clubs and coaches, get into the gym with each other, get in conversations, learning. There's so many awesome things happening at a club level, and we want to, keep encouraging these great things to happen. So that's that for me. If there's any questions, I'm happy to take them now or at the end.
Okay. Our next topic as we keep rolling, and we appreciate your time tonight. Shashank, we are very happy you could join us for what you are working on in sport has helped, like your title, connect us. So with your work that you've done on your website and the registration tool, I won't even try to explain it because you've created amazing services, and he is one tech whiz that has done so much for us. So we are happy to introduce Shashank, and he will tell you all the services that he can provide for your club to help you operate.
Okay, I'm gonna just give me a second here, Shashank, and I will allow you. Actually, I can't. LP, can you allow Shashank to, or is that?
He's going to share a presentation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Be good. I can share my screen. All right, here, let's try this. You guys good? You can see it?
We can.
Yes, okay, perfect. Okay, guys, first of all, thank you for having me on this call. It was very nice for me to get a behind the scenes of what you all do every day. It's nice to see that there's a whole bunch of money available for clubs to use, which is pretty cool. Which is pretty cool to see. So look, what I want to do, I don't want to take too much of your time. I want to take maybe like 5 minutes of your time and walk you through this program called Volleyball Connect that we've been working on for the last little while with the OVA. Right, so let me share my screen. Let me make this a little bigger so you guys can see it. Do you see that little bar on the screen, or like no? Like that says stop sharing and all that sort of stuff.
We're good. I see your presentation.
Okay, great. All right. So look, so before I get into what it is, right, let me just set the little framework here. So Volleyball Connect is a platform that is owned and managed by the OVA, right? I run a technology company called Community. We are the technology partner that has built, we maintain, and we support the Volleyball Connect platform, right? So just to give you guys an overview of what it is. So why did we even build this platform, right? So we've been working with the OVA now for years. We've taken on this project in the last several months. The main reason we even built it is what we've heard feedback from the OVA network, from other networks that we're a part of, is most registration platforms for sports, they were built 15 to 20 years ago or so. Most of them haven't really adapted with the time. So they're kind of like clunky, old from a user experience perspective. We've heard that, it's complicated to use. If you guys use some of the big software providers that exist in the space, it's, hard to get, support people to get back to. And if you dig a little bit deeper into this whole world, you'll realize that 90% of these sports management companies are owned by large US private equity firms, right? So ultimately, they don't really care about the sport, and I think just looking to make a whole bunch of money, which as a result of which, the software world hasn't really adapted, or the software hasn't really changed. So we really wanted to come in and create a platform where all parties involved can win in this, right? So what is Volleyball Connect, right? So it's two things. One, it is a simple and powerful platform that helps you manage all of the admin tasks of your club. So think of, registrations, payments, communications, stuff like that. It's really simple, modern, and easy to use. Secondly, in addition to that, it is also a marketplace that lists all available volleyball clubs in one specific area, which makes it easy for users to go find things. So the OVA, we've been marketing this for the last several months, and the OVA and their network have been driving thousands of people onto this specific marketplace. So what does that actually look like, right? So it looks like a marketplace like this, where people can just go in, find clubs and programs around them, check out the club, there's ratings and reviews, see kind of what works for them, and easily be able to sort of book programs. So for you as a club, you get all of this let's call it marketing and visibility just by being on the marketplace. Secondly, it gives you like the most modern set of tools available for, sports organizations today, right? So things like registrations, payments, communications in a very modern, simple, and easy to use platform. So just to give you guys an idea of the kinds of things that you can do with this, right? So I will just move my tab over here. This is the website. So if you go on here, all the information is here. But just to give you guys an idea, right? What can you do with this, right? So you sign up, you get your own booking page. There's ratings and reviews that are like displayed from people all over the place. You can create your own registration forms when people are signing up with you. You automatically create wait lists for you. You can accept online and offline payments, right? If you're like a smaller club, you're like, hey, I don't want to pay the credit card processing fee, no problem. You can send messages, send emails from within the platform. You can create payment plans. You can accept your digital waivers online. You can track attendance from there. You can do promotions. You can do a whole bunch of things that will help make your life managing the admin aspects of your club a whole lot easier. Now, we've created also a little like 10-minute end-to-end demo here that walks you through the entire platform. So when you guys have some time, go take a look at that. But I think what I want to come back to is probably the most important question that you guys are going to have. What does this thing cost, right? And what is the point of using this? So first of all, let me talk about the pricing, and then I'll talk to you about what my favorite part of Volleyball Connect essentially is. So from a pricing perspective, there are no subscriptions. There are no long-term commitments. So you don't like it, don't use it, right? So in terms of what we charge a booking fee for every booking that takes place on the platform. So it's about like 10% capped at a maximum of $15. So if you sell a program for $500, we will take about $15 off of that. It's very average pricing. Most sort of competitors in the space charge the same amount of money, right? Now, if you feel that, hey, this pricing structure doesn't really work for you because you're a larger club or you process large volumes, no problem. We'll work with you. We'll create a custom pricing structure for you that aligns well within your club and your needs, right? And we work with Stripe as the payment processor. We don't really charge any markups on the payment processing fees or anything like that. And as we said before, right, you can choose to accept payments online. You can choose to accept payments offline. All of those things are fine. Now, coming back to my previous point, right, which was I told you that a lot of these other tech companies are owned by large private equity funds, right, that are really not doing a whole lot to grow sports in like local communities. So what we've done with the OVA is when you use Volleyball Connect as a platform, the fee that is being charged for you, which is the platform fee, actually gets reinvested back into the community to help support all kinds of OVA programs, coaches, all these sorts of different kinds of events that are here. Maybe Joanne can talk to that, a little bit towards the end on here. Again, the idea is you are supporting the growth of volleyball just by being on this specific marketplace, right? Now, just to kind of summarize over here, why should you like think about using Volleyball Connect for you guys? One, purely from a software perspective, it is easily the most modern and simple platform that is available to use on the market, right? You'll be able to manage end-to-end club management capabilities on here. We've been working with several large and small clubs within the OVA network over the past 4 months. And based in the last 4 months, they've had a lot of feedback to share with us, which has been amazing. And just in those 4 months, I think we've launched about 10 large features that now benefit everybody on the platform. So things like attendance tracking, payment plans. So it's a platform that's going to be continuously like improved. So it's not like dead, just like developed 20 years ago and just like forgotten about. So your feedback's going to like matter. You're going to get really timely support on here. Like this is something that I'm very proud of as well with the platform. Like you send us an email. I guarantee you within a couple of hours, we will find a way to like get it solved, right? That's something that we work on. Some people don't really want to reach out to us. They want to like figure things out on their own. So what we've done is we've created a lot of like documentation and how-to guides to help you like figure things out on your own if you don't want to talk to us, which is fine. You get marketing and visibility to like thousands of users on on Volleyball Connect, like the OVA is pushing all these people to come on here. Another huge added benefit for the same price, right? Again, the most important thing is you are not helping another large private equity fund get richer. In fact, you are just keeping all of this money within the volleyball community in Ontario and just sort of like supporting each other, right? And ultimately, look, I think it's like a win-win for like all parties involved, right? For you as clubs, it's win-win because you're getting the most modern software. It keeps getting updated. You're getting all this visibility on Volleyball Connect Marketplace for the same price. For the OVA, it's a nice win because we're growing the sport of volleyball within Ontario. You know, we're adopting the latest technologies. That makes sense. For the end users, it's fantastic because it's giving them choice, right? They can be like, I go around me, here are the different clubs that are there, here are the ratings and reviews that are available, here are the programs that I want to put my kids in. So it gives them choice and gives them a modern booking experience. At the end of the day, it's also helping a company like Community, which is a like Ontario-based tech provider, also grow as the sport of volleyball grows within Ontario, right? So that was just a little overview of what this is, what this can do for you. You know, Carrie will send you a follow-up email with all the links for you guys to like learn more. You can reach out to me, you can reach out to Carrie if you guys have any questions. And, you know, I'm looking forward to working with more of you from within the network. Right, so I will stop sharing here.
Amazing. Thank you.
Wonderful. Yes. Wonderful. Okay. I think we are 15, 15 after 8, which isn't too bad. Happy to answer any questions anybody has if you want to pop them in the chat below. If not, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. It was a pleasure. I wish everybody the best of luck with their seasons, and let's play some ball, I guess.